welcome everyone. It's now about 6:30 p.m. and I'd like to call to order the Fenton Township Board meeting on this 20th day of May 2025. I would ask everyone to please stand for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Gopal, will you lead us?
Sir, thank you. Lord, we meet here tonight to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. And as always, we thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As always, Mark, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Lorraine,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Clark,
Present.
Krug is present, Kessler is absent, Gopal,
Here.
Tucker is absent. You have 5 members present.
All right, thanks, Bob. I'd like to know for the record that our Township Attorney, Jack Belzer, our Operations Manager, Tom Broker, Zoning Administrator, Mike Dean, and our Assessor, Julia Wilson, are also present this evening. Additionally, we have our Township Engineers, Alan and Melissa Lawrence from Lawrence Engineering, that have joined via Zoom. Tom, will you detail the procedures for those attending tonight's virtual meeting?
Yes, to members of the public attending tonight's meeting in person or via Zoom, please be advised the meeting is being recorded to be shown on Public Access TV, Spectrum Channel 191. Recorded meetings are also posted on the Fenton Area Community Television YouTube channel. For those attending via Zoom, we ask that you keep your microphone muted until we reach portions of the meeting where public comment is allowed. For tonight's meeting, there's one public hearing for street lighting special assessment for Cider Creek Phase 2, during which public comment will be taken. All other public comment will be taken near the end of the meeting. Meeting materials are available for download on the Township's website at fentontownship.org.
All right, thanks, Tom. Moving on to the first business order is the approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda?
Is the unfinished business still on for tonight?
It's going to get postponed.
Okay. No, sir.
Okay. Hearing none, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as presented.
I will move the motion. No. Right? No.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, the motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
What are we gonna do when we get to the tough ones?
I don't know.
Krug is
Hopefully
present,
Greg's not here.
Clark,
Yes.
There goes that 15 minutes.
Kessler's absent, Reed,
Yes.
Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker's absent, Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, the agenda stands approved as presented. Moving on to the next business order, which is the meeting minutes. Included in the packet are the meeting minutes from the May 6th special and regular meetings. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to these meeting minutes? All right, hearing none, the meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Moving on to expenditures. Are there any questions tonight from the board regarding any of the invoices? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion regarding the payment of expenditures totaling $162,065.30 per payment.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Reed,
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker's absent, Kessler's absent, Lorraine.
Yes.
I vote yes, Clark,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, expenditures stand approved as presented. All right, next business order is public hearings. Tonight we have a proposed street lighting special assessment district, Cider Creek Phase 2 hearing of necessity. The owner-developer of the Cider Creek condominium subdivision has petitioned for a street light special assessment district in Phase 2 of the development. The estimated cost of the project is $3,220 for street light installation and $1,960 per year for operation and maintenance of the street lights, plus administrative costs. This is a public hearing on the creation of the special assessment district. The board will now accept public comment on the following: the creation of the special assessment district, the proposed boundaries of the district, the necessity of the improvement, the plans for the improvement, and the cost estimates for the improvement. All right, I will now open up for public comment. Is there anyone here in person that would like to address the board regarding only the proposed street lighting special assessment district? All right, hearing none, we will move on to Zoom. Is there anyone here that has joined us via Zoom that would like to address the board on the proposed street lighting special assessment district? All right, hearing none, I will now close public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from the board? All right, hearing none, resolution 2025-18. Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
Yes. It determines that the petitions met statutory requirements, approves the plan and estimated cost, creates the Cedar Creek 2 Street Lighting Special Assessment District, which includes units 31 through 95 in the Cedar Creek condominium subdivisions, directs the supervisor to create a special assessment role, and it repeals any conflicting resolutions. I'll move the resolution.
I will second.
All right. Motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Clark?
Yes.
Kessler's absent. I vote yes. Gopal?
Yes.
Tucker's absent. Lorraine?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, in anticipation of the adoption of the previous resolution, a special assessment role has been created, certified, and filed with the Township Clerk. Resolution number 2025-19. Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
Yes. It acknowledges that the filing of the special assessment role with the clerk and its availability for review until the public hearing, schedules a public hearing on the special assessment role at the June 3rd board meeting, directs the clerk to publish and mail the notice of hearing according to statute, repeals any conflicting statute resolutions.
Okay, I will entertain a motion regarding the adoption of resolution number 2025-19 as presented.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Gopal?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
I vote yes. Reed?
Yes.
Kessler's absent. Resolution passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next business orders reports. We have the water and sewer infrastructure project update. I just was going to take a second and just, as I promised the board, I would try to keep the board informed as we move forward with these projects. The Tupper Lake Sewer Project, also known as the Tucker Project. Contract has been awarded to DBM Utilities for just over $4 million. And as the board should remember, our initial estimate came in just over $8 million. So construction is tentatively scheduled to begin in October 2025, and that's basically due to allowing John to have lake time over the summer and get started in the fall.
Aren't you glad you showed up, Tucker?
Oh, he's lucky he showed up. I was going to be a lot worse. The Jennings Road Sewer project is in the final design stages. Its estimated cost is about $8 million. The projected bid timeline is Q4 of 2025. Construction projected to begin in Q1 2026. Any questions? And also, the last one is Phase 4 water project. That's the Ripley Road, Silver Lake Road to Chateau de Lac. The design is underway. The estimated total cost of the project is about $7 million. The projected bid timeline is Q4 of 2025, with a construction projected to begin Q1 2026. Does anybody have any questions on these infrastructure projects? And again, I'm just doing as I promised the board, is just to try to keep them up to date, so I'll probably address those every month or so, just to keep everybody abreast in case if anything changes. Anything else? All right, are there any committee reports to be made to the board this evening? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to communications this evening. We have none. Adoption of ordinances, none. Moving on to unfinished business. This is the siren replacement proposal, Fire Station number 1. Fire Chief Volz has advised he needs additional time to research alternatives to the new siren. I would recommend that we postpone the issue to a future meeting without specifying a date to avoid, postponing and postponing. So, any questions or comments from the board? Okay, I will entertain a motion to postpone to a future meeting the special, or the issue of replacing the emergency siren at Fire Station Number 1.
Motion to postpone?
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Gobel,
Yes.
Kessler's absent, Reed,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
and I vote yes, motion passes.
Thanks, Bob. All right, next under new business is resolution number 2025-20, street lighting contract change, North Ralston intersection. Operations Manager Broker, will you review?
Yes,
Review.
what you see in the packet is an email from consumers. They've been working with the Road Commission. The Road Commission is replacing a bridge on North Road that crosses the river there. And part of the project is to relocate and upgrade an existing, it's a high-pressure sodium light. They're going to upgrade to LED, but they're also relocating it. The cost will be part of the Road Commission project, so they're not asking us to pay for it. But because the light is covered under our contract, they're asking us to approve the contract authorization for change for the contract so they can bill us the right rate, which will be cheaper. So we have that agreement in the packet along with the resolution to approve it and authorize supervisor and clerk.
All right, any questions or comments? Thanks, Tom. From the board? Hearing none. Okay, resolution number 2025-20. Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
Yes. Deems it advisable to remove the existing street light at the North Road, Ralston Road intersection, relocate and replace with an LED street light, authorizes the supervisor or clerk to execute the required authorization for change documents. I'll move the resolution.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Kessler is absent. I vote yes. Reed,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Gobel.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next under new business is resolution number 2025-21. 21, notice of intent to issue capital improvement bonds. Operations Manager Broker, will you review?
Yes, I'll just try to paraphrase the memo. With the recent award of the Tupper Lake sewer project, we're in a position where we're going to need to issue bonds to finance that project in the next few months. And we're also looking at financing for the Jennings Road sewer project and the Phase 4 water project. It will be needed probably early in 2026. And talking to Benzinski and Company and Miller Canfield, our financial advisor and bond counsel, they have suggested we publish a single notice of intent for all the projects, which would cover all the bond issues. That just eliminates the need to having to go back and do the notice of intent and wait the 45 days for each one. If you remember, when we initially did the notice of intent for Phase 1 of the water, we did that in January of '22. And we didn't end up issuing bonds till this year. So it could, sometime, hopefully it won't take that long for these projects, but it's a formality we need to make sure it happens, so it's all legal under the Municipal Finance Act. So the recommended maximum amount under the notice of intent is $25 million, although the current estimates are actually under 20. The extra amount is a cushion to eliminate having to come back and publish another notice. Let's see. Included in the packet is the resolution authorizing publication of the notice of intent to issue capital improvement bonds and declaration of intent to reimburse. That was provided by Steve Mann at Miller Canfield, so it's in there verbatim, pretty much boilerplate language. It talks about, it's the notice of intent, has to go in the paper with a quarter-page size ad, and then also it confirms that the township will reimburse itself, can reimburse itself for expenses incurred up to 60 days before today from the bond proceeds. And one other thing to point out, the adoption of the resolution does not obligate the township to issue the bonds, but instead indicates the intention of the township to issue bonds, pledging its limited tax full faith and credit as security, and authorizes the publication of the notice of intent.
Thanks, Tom. Tom, can you just touch my phrase of 30,000 feet? We reduced the sewer rates, and just wanted you to kind of go over to just update the board. I know you've heard it before, that this was all part of the calculation, that, you know, these projects, the 2 sewer projects that we had, all of that, the cash flow included that. So can you kind of just touch on that real brief?
So when the board made the decision to reduce the rate from $2.55 to $1.95 in the quarterly sewer bill, we had run updated cash flow models, and in that model, we had projected an additional $15 million in new debt on the sewer system. And with that, it was still working without having to, still reducing the rate to $1.95 and not having to raise it by issuing the new debt. And now that number's down to around 12 instead of 50. So I'm actually working on an update to the model now. But we're in a good position to accommodate the additional debt, because we had 2 big bond issues paid off last year, which was kind of the trigger point for the rate reduction. But the remaining debt we have is gone in 4 more years. It's so, as far as what's on the books right now. So these new bonds will be out there for 20 years, but nowhere near what we had going a decade or so ago. We were in the mid-30s in our total debt on the sewer system not that long ago. Maybe it is long ago, time flies for me.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So.
All right, thanks, Tom. I just wanted to update the board on that. Thanks. Any questions or comments from the board? All right, hearing none. Resolution number 2025-21. Clerk Crew, will you please present the resolution?
Yes, authorize the publication of the notice of intent to issue bonds, declares the township's intent to reimburse itself from the bond proceeds for qualified expenditures incurred up to 60 days prior to the adoption of the resolution, establishes a maximum debt amount of $25 million, authorizes the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer to take steps necessary to carry out the propose of this resolution. Confirms Miller Canfield as bond counsel, and I'm gonna murder your name, so I apologize ahead of time. Confirms Benzinski and company as financial advisors, rescinds any conflicting resolutions. I'll move the resolution.
I'll second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Clerk Crew, will you please call the roll?
Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Kessler's absent, Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
I vote yes. Reed,
Yes.
resolution passes.
Thanks, Bob. All right, moving on to the next business order is board comment. Is there anyone on the board who has additional comments or concerns?
Do you know if that gentleman that was having the telephone pole in the middle of the drain got any assistance?
I've made phone calls, Tom's made phone calls, the
Okay.
county's aware of it, if you wanna give them up.
I think the road commission is on it with consumers, and I saw some email exchanges that indicated that it's moving.
And I've talked to him twice, and he was just happy that
Okay.
things were moving, so.
He just really seemed to have suffered a long time for somebody else's mistake.
Well, I think he's only in phase 1 of.
Suffering.
All right, moving on, the next business order is public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. Is there anyone that has joined us this evening that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items? Mike, I know you had a list. All right, hearing none. Is there anyone that is joined us via Zoom tonight that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items? If so, just kind of raise your hand and unmute your mic.
See anybody?
Don says no.
Nobody? All right, close the public hearing. It is now 6:40 PM. If there's nothing else, I say good night, and the meeting's adjourned.
6:50.
Oh, I knew I wasn't gonna be Bob's 15 minutes, so I just
I was
kinda,
gonna say, come on, at least get.
I
it
could have if
close.
I didn't have Tom explain the